Hi, I'm Connor. I'm one of the customer service staff here at Warlord Games. I worked here for just over a year and I've been with customer service since November. I've written a couple of articles already for Victory at Sea and I've got a few more on the way. Why did I choose the Kriegsmarine for Victory at Sea? So, looking at Victory at Sea as my first main project since working at Warlord, I wanted something that was relatively new, and as I hadn't played naval combat games for a long time, I wanted to play this. I went for Kriegsmarine as I wanted to complement some other hobby ideas I have and wanted to collect a major but rather small fleet. The US and Imperial Japanese Navy do look fun, but I wanted to have the whole collection in a relatively short time frame, so I currently have the current full collection from Warlord Games. I went for quite a fast scheme in order to ensure that the project would be done quickly and that it all matched as a tabletop force rather than 100% historical accuracy. I went for a uniform grey undercoat, although in hindsight a blue undercoat would have saved me a lot of time. Army paint a deep blue, followed by quick shade blue tone and a dry brush of Vallejo matte white for the sea bases. For the ships themselves, the decking is a 50-50 mix of Panzer Ace's new wood and Vallejo dark sand, the metals Vallejo oily steel, and the rest of the hull Vallejo medium sea grey. Once this was dry, a wash of army paint a strong tone and a dry brush of matte white on the nameplate resulted in a relatively uniform colour scheme for the fleet in a short amount of time. This allowed for the bulk of the project to be done over one weekend with the Tirpitz, the Kriegsmarine aircraft and some more of the MTBs and U-boats in an evening after they were released. What is your favourite ship and why? I think currently it has to be the Bismarck. The leader of my main battle group, I had quite a lot of fun painting this one and it had appeared in all three of my games so far. It has the durability and powerful guns that allow it to dish out a lot of damage. I am however looking forward to using the Tirpitz, which I've designated the leader of my coastal defence fleet, an entire fleet flagship. It has sat in dry dock for a while now however. How do they play on the tabletop? So, due to the lockdown in the UK, I have sadly not been able to get quite as many games in as I would have liked. I had a fantastic game against a colleague's Japanese fleet, where I found it best to get as close as I could to negate the minuses to hitting fast ships. On the extreme to this however, I played Max's US Navy on Twitch recently, and found that actually the strength of the Kriegsmarine does lie in range. As most of the light guns do not have a weak trait, it allows for them to cause critical damage, and as such should be able to pick off destroyers at range. I'd say that the thing to watch out for, as always, are torpedoes. These can do a lot of damage, just don't forget your torpedo belts. But also that, as in the Twitch game, it can be tempting to pile the points on bigger ships with the Kriegsmarine, therefore do run the risk of being heavily outnumbered, which can make the difference. I'm looking at trying a few ideas, but overall I'd say for about 1500 points, have a battleship, a couple of the heavier cruisers, some of the lighter cruisers, and a couple of destroyers to bring in those powerful torpedoes. This fleet should allow for the long range damage, but take it slowly and let the enemy fleet come to you. Once they are baited, swing the destroyers and light cruisers round the back to get some rear shots on the enemy ships with those torpedoes. This project is pretty much done for now. I do look forward to seeing some more of the ships being released at some point in the future, but I do want to get a dozen or so games in to get used to how they play. I have some merchant convoy ships at home that I want to paint up to try the special submarine scenarios. Overall, I am working on a Generation Germans project, which is basically Germany throughout the ages, well the geographical location at least. Over the next year I plan to explore most of the game systems that we have that can allow for this, including Black Powder Prussians, SPQR Germanics and so on. Watch this space for more to come.